Greetings and aloha, guys. What's going on? It's Mike from LiveMyAssOff.com. This was not a planned video. I'm over here in one of my favorite parts of the world, really, but definitely one of my favorite parts of Bangkok, which is Lumpini Park. And I kind of came over here, well, this was unplanned also. I went to meet some friends for lunch around the AMAZ area, if you know the BTS stop, AMAZ. And then from there, I said, well, I'll go for a little bit of a walk because it's really nice out, right? I mean, this is this is the sky I'm looking at now in Bangkok. And, you know, that's not planned either. I mean, traditionally, you know, if one were to talk about, let me plan what the weather's going to be like in Bangkok, it's like, all right, well, it's probably going to rain a lot. It's going to be really hot and sticky, which it is. There's going to be tons of smog, you know, so make sure you bring a mask because you never know what's going to happen. He said in January. So to the point of changes and time that goes by, today is 7 months in the kingdom. So I landed and stamped in on November 21st at Suvarnabhumi Airport and then spent a few days there. If you know the story, or if you don't know the story and you're new to the channel, welcome. Thanks for coming by. My name's Mike. Hi. And I landed here, and after Gracie got here, we went down to Cha Am. We lived in Cha Am for a month. Well, about 6 weeks, actually. 5-6 weeks. And then we came up to Bangkok, and then we had an Airbnb and a condo in Bangkok because around the end of that second 30 days, Gracie needed to go home and do some business work, basically. She has in January, pretty much of every year, she takes care of all of her sort of business stuff and her insurance and her Social Security and everything. She front loads all of that, and she pays all that ahead of time in January. So she was going to go home and do that, and it's like, all right, well, we got to go up to Bangkok to go to Suvarnabhumi Airport anyway. Why don't we just get a place up there, and then while we're up there, we can look around and we can find a condo that will be like sort of our home base. You'll go back to the Philippines, and then I will come back to the Philippines, or you'll come back to you'll come back to Thailand was the plan, which she did. And that was in about February, early February, and she was here for about a month, and actually less than that, and then left at about her third week here because it was announced by Duterte, the president of the Philippines, that if you fly back into Manila, and this was like around March 9th or 10th or something, he announced this on like a Thursday or a Friday, that on Saturday, if you come into Manila before Saturday night, that's fine. You can then transfer to your next location. But if you come in after Saturday night, then you're going to need to stay in Manila. We're not going to allow you to leave and take another domestic flight. So effectively, she couldn't have gotten home. And of course, we didn't know that any of this was going to happen the first week in March. But it was like, all right, well, let's do this, and then you can just come back eventually. Which, again, she's going to be able to come back eventually, and you know, the other half of this team will be here soon. He said, hopefully. No, I'm confident it'll happen. It'll just happen. You know, it just won't happen as soon as I want, right? The next sort of thing that happened was in the time that she was here, we found a condo that we liked. So we got that, and initially it was going to be basically the place where we had a sort of central location, quite frankly, in Southeast Asia. And from there, sorry about the shaking, by the way. Again, this wasn't a planned video. I just was sitting here and I realized, oh my goodness, it's the 21st. I've been here 7 months now. So I wanted to check in and kind of give you guys an update. And so from the time that she was here, we found this condo, and so I've been living there, and she's been living back at the house in Hamandan, as well as the farm. So since the beginning of since the beginning of March, I've been here, you know, solo. And of course, Gracie and I talk every day. And I've been doing a lot more live streams, as I have a lot of other YouTubers. But I've been walking around Lumpini Park, and so I decided to come over here today. And again, it wasn't planned, but then I realized, oh yeah, this is a place that I like, and I've been here 7 months. So I was sort of just reflecting on that. And I'll tell you, as I mentioned, when I had 6 months in the country, every single, not necessarily day, but as I sort of reflect, as every 30-day cycle goes by, or every 28-day cycle or whatever, I've definitely made the right decision. I mean, there's so many indicators to me that I'm in the right place. And there continue to be. But what's amazing to me is that in all this time, regardless of where people are or where they want to be or, the things that are happening in their life, there's still some negative energy that I find, sadly, I feel I have empathy for people that are really focused on the negative. And trust me, I understand. I mean, trust me, if I watched the news every day, I probably wouldn't be the positive, focused, happy guy that I am. So that's something that I've sort of taken stock in the last 7 months of being here, that thank goodness I don't care for the news. But it's funny. I mean, I don't want to say that our relationship is stronger, Gracie and I, and then maybe it's because I'm like physically here, in Southeast Asia, right? So closer to the Philippines. But I feel closer to her, and again, maybe it's because, the beginning of this trip, like we spent, effectively every single day together for, almost 2 months. And then there was like, 2 or 3 weeks when she was back in the Philippines. And then, then she was back here and we were doing the team all over again. And so that was, I have great memories of that. And I also have great vision of what the future will be. So that's really cool too. So, the other thing I've noticed is that I fit in really well here. I have heard people, and again, this is their experience, but my experience, I've heard people say, oh yeah, the Thais, they're fake smile and they don't like the foreigners and all this. I've never experienced that, ever. And I've experienced people having a bad day, but I get plenty of that in the United States. So, it's kind of like, oh yeah, well, they don't even have fake smiles in the United States. They just have frowns. They don't look at you in the eye. They don't even, if you're passing them on the sidewalk, they won't say hello. In many areas of the United States. Not necessarily in the Midwest or the South or where I was living in Coronado in San Diego. Walk by someone on the sidewalk, never seen before, both smile, both say hello. I'm a big fan of that. It's kind of why I lived in Coronado. But I really fit here. See, now that I have camera on you, did you get camera shy? You're not going to do it now? Watch, like when the minute I turn the camera away. Oh, there he goes. Yeah. That's one of the reasons I like it here, I guess. Loud birds, maybe. He's probably like, oh, you think you're loud? You got no wings, buddy. Not only can I make a lot of noise, but I can fly away a lot faster than you can run. So bring it. There's my experience. And my experience is that, as cliche as it sounds, the energy, I guess, or the attitude that I put forth is what I get back. So when I apparently am in a good mood and I'm focused on the solution and I'm looking at the positive, for whatever reason, that seems to be what I get as an intake. It seems to be that is what is in the world that I get to see. And, you could argue, well, right, Mike, because you're delusional and you're unwilling to look at anything negative or, take into account that occurs. And yeah, that could be the case, but I got to tell you, if this is dysfunctional behavior, I'm the happiest dysfunctional dude I've ever met, and I like it this way. I like when I get up in the morning and I'm like, oh my God, I have so much opportunity. There's so many opportunities for me to do this, or help this person, or talk to this other person, or go somewhere where I'm really happy, or hang out in the sun, or the rain, or the clouds, or the smog, or the clean air, whatever. And I just, I had another gratitude attack this afternoon. I was talking with a buddy, and like tears in my eyes, I was so grateful. I could not stop myself. And, and I think part of it is the environment that I'm in. And by that, I mean Thailand. And specifically, this. I mean, blue sky in the park in Thailand. And of course, yes, this occurs in the United States. I get that. And no, it doesn't occur every single day here in Bangkok. I get that too. But it's happening today. And today is 7 months. And today I am reflecting on all of the luck, quite frankly, that it seems like I've had throughout 99% of my life. And through no fault of my own, and certainly through a lot of unconscious negative behavior that I was in for years, not recently. But for a while, like pushing all of that out, and for some reason, now I've been able to focus on the positive. So not only do I feel like I'm, have a lot of opportunity and I'm blessed and lucky and that sort of thing to be here in Thailand, I believe that by being here in Thailand, that maybe I'm able to see that stuff clearer. I'm not quite sure. All I know is that from the moment that I bought that one-way ticket and got rid of my round-trip ticket, and then said, all right, I'm doing this. And then, I had kind of been in the process of getting rid of my stuff, the whole like, oh my God, I sold everything and moved to a foreign country. That was piecemeal for me. I mean, it took me 3 years just to get rid of my storage unit while I had a smaller house. I went from big house to small house plus storage unit, and then 3 years later, I finally got rid of the stuff that was in my storage unit that arguably I had already bought at least once. Based on the monthly rental of the storage unit. I could have bought everything in this thing, and I still don't need them, obviously, So anyway, that was an interesting exercise to go through. But, God, I made the right decision. And, regardless of what today is for you, the day that you're like watching this video, whether it's like 30 days since you something, or 2 months since you started doing whatever, or 3 years, or your 30th anniversary, or even 24 hours from the time that you made a decision to do something to right now, and you've been able to keep that, commitment to yourself and your loved ones or the universe or whatever you want to call it. I hope that maybe this video gives you pause and you're like, okay, so what have I been doing for X amount of time, whether it's a 7-month thing or 7 weeks or 7 days or, a 90-day challenge that maybe you're doing with your brother or something like that, anything. You made your bed again this month. I mean, whatever it is, as I'm doing this at a 7-month mark of being basically where I fantasized about living, almost 7 years ago when I came here for the first time. And now I'm here, and I have been here since November, and it's been a great decision. And I've made bad decisions along the way too. But it's still a great decision to be able to make those bad decisions while I'm here in Thailand. So anyway, I just kind of wanted to check in as I was here, and I realized that it had been 7 months. And I want to thank all of you that watch these videos, and whether you give a thumbs up or a thumbs down, thank you for your input and thank you for your participation. Thanks to all the guys that hang on the live stream that make the Cool Kids Table exactly what it is, because it's not the Cool Kids Table if you guys aren't there, and I truly mean that. And to the people that super chat me or PayPal me or whatever, once again, you guys blow me away with your generosity. I am so honored by that, and so thank you very much too. And thanks to my mom and dad for never giving up on me. And thanks to the universe. I've had a gratitude attack. Thanks to the universe for putting Gracie in it. And thanks for whatever lessons I learned along the way, from my 3rd grade teacher to my junior high physics professor to the best professor I ever had in electrical engineering at UMass Boston to, someone that I saw walking down the street that did something really nice, and I maybe knew or didn't know that, hey, I should probably do that. All those behaviors that for whatever reason have filtered into my body through some type of osmosis, and I've been able to behave appropriately such that Gracie's, wakes up and she's like, well, yeah, I think I want to be in his life for another day, And that is the brass ring. That's the brass ring. That is the brass ring. And so anyway, with that, it is Mike's from LiveMyAssOff.com saying, I hope you guys are living the dream. I hope you're safe and happy wherever you are, as an absolute baseline. And I hope that whether it's an anniversary of some kind, 7 months in a country, 5 days sober, 50 years married to whoever, whatever it is, I hope you're able to pause right now and say, even if it's not like a round number, there's at least, I would bet, at least 5 things in your life right now that you could just name off the top of your head, or maybe take 10 minutes and just write them down, that you're so grateful for. You're like, I cannot believe I have these 5 blessings in my life, not the least of which are my 5 fingers. I know buddies of mine that only have lost 2, because in junior high they were screwing around with the bandsaw and they just lost 2 fingers. They're still a wonderful person, but they have, 3 fingers, man, and I got 5. So I mean, there's 5 good reasons right there. I'm lucky, I'm blessed, I'm honored, I'm the luckiest guy in the world, and I hope right after you hit stop or pause or end to this video, you walk to the nearest mirror, you look at yourself in the eye and say, I'm the luckiest guy in the world. I hope you can do that. And with that, I hope you're living the dream. It's Mike from LiveMyAssOff.com saying I'll talk to you guys soon, and have an amazing day. Ciao.